Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to your magical moon message. This is the Peace Dealer. Moon in Libra, Sun in Scorpio, kicking off the balsamic phase to the new moon. That'll probably happen tonight, coming into tomorrow. Don't get perturbed about projections or opinions against you. People may think and say things about you very extremely, but just ask them to prove it, and then look how stupid they look. So a transit like this will help clear with the logic of Libra. You're understanding the logic, moon in Libra, and then the deep, intense emotion in Scorpio. It'll help you release what isn't true about intense feelings anyone may feel. It'll also help you transform your approach towards your understanding of social dynamics, because we're going to see a flip here. It's not specific to just one person. This is more to a social vibration of archetypally certain people. So what you're going to see moving into the eclipse is certain people and things that you were very passionate about, that you were curious about or wanted to, you're no longer interested in that. And this is now transforming into a new direction as we move into Capricorn. Energetically, now that you've replaced this desire, you may find that the same people, opportunities, energies you were attracted to, that you now have made the switch and you're no longer invested in, are now attracted to you. like that. It may not make sense. That's the Uranian thing. But this isn't necessarily like a game where it's like, oh, I like you again. Like, a lot of you may, like, this is a fundamental switch. It's almost as if, because you no longer, it's because many of you have seen through maybe what you thought an expectation may have been good versus reality. And so now that you're breaking free, taking your power back, distancing yourself from these mental games and energetic games people play, boom, it's almost as if in response to that, you're going to see a lot of these dynamics switch. So what's so very important, a lot of this is going to happen today. So what's very important about this is, don't let what you released trick you into attaching back to it. Even if it's in that case, you want to make sure you establish the precedent that those same forces balance by putting in maybe as much or more work than you put in. Establish that balance, move forward. That's why I didn't even talk about the transit. The most important thing I need to speak on is, some of you are at that precipice of walking away from that which doesn't serve you, or really investing your energy towards what it is worth. That's what Scorpio season is going to fundamentally help you do. In that Taurus season set into play the value of your worth, Scorpio asks, what is worth investing that value in, and what sources and influences drain your energy, instead of match what you have manifested since Taurus season. Because this eclipse is going to now fundamentally express the evidence of Virgo and Libra, where the way people see you is different, and the actions you take have redefined the power balance. This is now instilling this. This is going to bring up uncharacteristic reactions from people who felt that they always had access to you to keep you on the side, when they realized they never did, and they don't. This is going to really bring frustration from people who realize they will never have leverage over you. Like what's going to happen to you is, like, maybe someone who was used to having so much more followers, used to having so much influence, so they could say whatever about you, knowing that you couldn't really do much because you didn't have that much reach. Now imagine if that changed overnight and you have 10 times more leverage and influence than that person. They would start shitting bricks, because the things that they did to you, you could do to them if you even wanted to. Like, this is the whole purpose of what's happening. Dynamics are making 180 to 270 degree reversals. Okay, a lot of them won't even be 180, where it's just a complete reversal. It's a whole change of direction, and you want to embrace this change stepping into Sagittarius season and the next season. But this is the balsamic phase that's going to release old relationship dynamics, and I want you to feel that intensely. It should feel like you're releasing something and you're not sure yet what step you're going to come into. Don't worry, the new moon will bring that in. We're starting Scorpio season with the balsamic phase and new moon. So just spend the rest of this moon in Libra understanding what actions you'll no longer take with people who don't deserve the depth of your value, who don't deserve aspects of you, who don't really return or kind of reciprocate what you're putting in. All right, I just wanted to nip that out the bud. Other than that, we've cleared the first 7 zodiac signs. So this is where we come into a much more deeply transformative and intense sense of how powerfully and magically you step into your superpowers. From Scorpio season to Pisces is the most supernatural definition of evolved supernatural abilities since 2016, when Jupiter was coming out of Virgo into Libra, the first half into the last half. Now Jupiter has come out of Pisces into Aries, is going back into Pisces. So the 2016 and 2022 are the most major, 2019 and 2012 as like checkpoints are the most major development of our evolution, the conclusion. And this is where you're going to start to really see the evidence of transformation. All right. The opposition to Uranus with Scorpio season, amongst other things. But because we're going to have Moon squaring Pluto, which should be happening right now, this is going to be that extreme push that will blow a lot of your minds. Like certain people, it's almost as if something inside you has switched and people are going to be responding to that. So you have to be very careful about how certain people will come back and reestablish that leverage. They may wear masks and act like they're sorry for what they did, but they're not. They just want to they just feel that this cognitive dissonance that feels something energetically switched. And so whether they're conscious of it or not, they're going to come back to try and reestablish that old balance. The square with the Moon and Pluto is saying, do not reestablish the old balance. Break through and create a new dynamic where you are not dealing with someone having more leverage than you. If anything, you assert leverage over them, because you don't have to do equal. Some people have ruined the chance to be equal with you. And I know that's going to be controversial. So whatever philosophy you have around that, cool, but just keep that in mind. Don't get so stuck in your ideals that you lose sight of this being reality, and reality not always matching with your ideals and fantasy. So either way, just let this prepare you once again for the new moon. Nothing will ever be the same just coming into this next week, because this will facilitate a lot of intense completion that we started with the North Node in Taurus. But I really want to make this transit talk more focused on the complete transformation of your social dynamics due to an increase in status and or notoriety. And the thing about it is, you may not catch on unless like maybe your sun is in the socials or collective, like from Libra to Pisces. You may not really catch on before other people do. So you might be the last one to know that something happened with your status, or that you blew up, or that you're gaining notoriety. And just really keep in mind, like, it doesn't have to be in an overt way. This could be in a more private way. Just be very discerning of people's intentions, because it's not at all what it seems. Especially with this 12th house energy, people can fool themselves and make themselves believe they're more genuine or not. Trust the actions, okay? Trust the actions. Moon and Libra is going to give you a deep understanding of that. We had the opposition of Jupiter in the beginning of the transit, which after opposing Neptune enabled you from Virgo to Libra to really account for this burst of evolution and how much more you feel powerful in who you are. So allow more to be revealed. Once again, like this, I can't emphasize alone. Let me know if this is accurate for you. Because of all the work you've done, subconsciously, you may not be conscious of these dynamics. It's not like, okay, I leveled up and so people are going to change. This is more so greater evidence of what's been transforming the past 6 months. You haven't just been leveling up. You've been building on your value with this North Node in Taurus in ways that were intangible, but Uranus has made uniquely and unconventionally tangible. And you don't know what other people value. So just be very mindful of that. Don't get caught up on people showing you flattery and acting like they're into you when you have something they may want. Okay. And some of you may not be used to this type of attention, okay? Especially from people who you may have wanted to connect with, but maybe they were cold, maybe they were acting like whatever, and now they're coming back. Like, don't fall for that. That's all I'm saying. Some of you might fall for that and be like, oh my gosh, I've been wanting to talk to this person forever. Like, finally I can. Make sure before you talk to that person, you establish the boundaries. You establish, look, like, you're not going to be treating me like A, B, and C. Like, this is what it is. In fact, you don't even have to say any of that. Just mirror back to them what they did to you. And I know that might sound petty, but you just, as long as what you don't do is reestablish what you just got out of. I feel like some of you are so kind, you don't think much of it, but you kind of have to be a dick here. You kind of have to be a dick here. Do not let anybody or certain people who felt like they could, you know what I'm saying, do whatever, come in just because they see you popping. Because this is going to explode for almost everybody you watching here in your own unique way. Okay? And I would just hate for it to be you. I would hate for you to come back to like cap season and realize the true colors of these people. So it is what it is. Okay? Other than that, as you're transcending your understanding of how you're transforming these social dynamics, this is also going to make way for how to understand your super self in a different way. And this will require letting go of an old understanding of who you think you are relative to actions you're taking towards other people that allude much more powerful dynamics to you. And yeah, other than that, I'm going to end this moon message here. As this day ends, the moon will be slipping into Scorpio and will kick in the eclipse. Things are going to get super deep. I will keep saying, last time we had this eclipse energy, Astro World happened. The Astro World tragedy. So who wants to predict what might happen next? I feel like it'll be something. Last time we didn't even have the full eclipse in Scorpio. This time we have it. So we'll see what's up. We'll see what's up. Y'all stay blessed as always. You definitely want to take into account how powerfully the nuances with extra dimensional facets of yourself ground in reality, hence the divine parts of yourself aligning with the physical parts of yourself. Moon and Libra help you balance that so that you can move forward through this eclipse properly. Believe who people tell you they are the first time to be, and don't get so perturbed. I feel like with this, some of you might be perturbed or, just kind of disappointed that people don't understand your value. But you have to understand the North Node in Taurus transit is all about transforming who you allow in your life, who understands your value and who doesn't. So if you've noticed that was more of a theme since last year, you're constantly connecting with people or dealing with people who undermine your value, don't recognize your value. That's supposed to happen. That's the whole purpose of the eclipse. After the North Node goes into Aries, you don't have anyone around you who does not value you. Like, you're around people who know what's up, and you know what's up with them. Like, that's not even a thing. So if you're going through it now, that's a good thing. South Node and Scorpio is letting you know who to weed out, and you are raising your value. Like Taurus is royal. So some of you are having to accept that your yesterday's price isn't today's price, and you are raising the quality of your being to a level where not everyone can make it through, because they're not going to be willing to honor your boundaries. Doesn't matter how long you've known them, doesn't matter what they feel. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Break through whatever difficulty here, especially with the node eclipse that has the square to Saturn. It's not really even going to be that deep, but just remember what you've built here and know that after these trials, a lot of stuff that might be frustrating, you're not going to have to deal with. You're going to be in more relationships that honor your value. You're going to be in more friendships. You're going to be in more situations that allow you to, come into the best returns. So just keep that in mind. We want to put this message out for those of you who feel like your time has been wasted. You know what I'm saying? Many, especially now, here's the Neptunian element here. Many of you have seen signs, synchronicities that point you to certain people, only to be rejected, pushed back, and you're wondering, why did you even see this? Am I crazy? No, you're not crazy. People have free will. So just because you see a sign about someone doesn't mean that with their free will, they still won't block it, because they have resistance, because you especially may bring up that resistance, and their inability to be real and not fake can block it. It doesn't mean you're crazy. It just means they're not ready. And it doesn't mean things won't be redirected. This is where you might get so caught up in the physical, you don't know that there's an infinite possibility here. So learn what you will from this lesson, but don't feel like that's where it ends. And I hope no one's listening to this and feeling like I'm talking about a specific person. This has so many applications. You will find this dynamic in almost every relationship in your life where people are honoring or not honoring your values. So keep that in mind. This is really the end of that narrative, because once we step into the new moon in Scorpio, son, nothing was the same. Y'all stay blessed as always. Godspeed. Peace.